So I was at an event many, many years ago, and a gentleman came up on stage, and he was talking about how lonely he was. In fact, he was so lonely that he had contemplating committing suicide. And now, obviously, nothing to joke about, and I'm certainly not joking about it here. But what turned out as a result of his feelings was funny. So what happened was they were talking to him, and they said, "Hey, look, why do you so lonely? Why do you want to kill yourself? Well, I'm lonely, and here I am in my 50s, and women just don't like me. Women don't I'm not loved." And your heart went out for him. You felt bad. Like, here he is, all he wants is love, and he's sitting here, he's just lonely. And so what the speaker did, and I thought was magical, and I've used it ever since. He said, "Well, tell me what it's like. How do you know when a woman likes you? Tell me what happens." He said, "Oh, geez, well, that it doesn't happen very often, but if a woman likes me, what she's going to do is she's going to see me at a bar, and she's going to come up to me, she's going to approach me, and then she's going to have engaging conversation with me." And then once we have an engaging conversation, she's going to let me know that she likes me, and then she's gonna maybe invite me over to a table or something, and then maybe we'll play some pool, and then she'll ask me out. She'll ask me for my phone number, of course, and then after she asks me for my phone number, then perhaps she'll call me as well, and we'll have a conversation, and we'll go out on a date. And the presenter's like, okay, let me get this right. So he writes this all on the board, and it was really funny. And so what happens is he's saying, "Hey, look, so what you're saying is not even at this point," and this goes on for almost a half an hour, right? It gets more and more detailed, because yet he still doesn't know this woman likes him. And so he's saying, you go to a bar, and a woman you've never met before comes up to you with a group of guys that you might be with, a group of strange men, approaches you from across the bar, tells you that she's interested in you, pulls you aside away from your friends, asks you to hang out with her, has engaging conversation, meaning conversation that you want to have. Then she not only does that, but she gives you her number, takes your number, and then calls you, and then makes sure the date's arranged. Is that correct? And he's like, "Yeah." Well, it was just mind-blowing. And as he's going through this, he goes, "Okay, well, now does she like you?" And he's like, "Well, I'm not sure. We have to go on the date, and then, she has to kiss me." And it was all reverse order. And the point being with telling you this story, and again, it goes on for like at least another half hour, as I recall, is he created all these rules and check marks, like almost like a maze for a woman to get through to say that she likes him. In order for him to feel loved or wanted, he created a series of rules and regulations, check marks, almost like a map that someone would have to travel through in order to feel that feeling of being wanted. Now, while creating these rules, there was a reason he felt lonely, is because nobody made him feel wanted. He could be at a bar, a woman could come across the bar, tell him that she loves him, she's interested, be engaging, give her number. She could have done all of that work, yet still he didn't feel wanted at that point. It wasn't until later on, after about a month or two of dating, that he would have started to feel wanted and loved. And so what I'm trying to say is, this is an exaggeration to some point, but when I coach clients and I work with people and we talk about what are your rules for being loved, what are your rules for being a good husband, what are your rules for being a good wife, what are your rules for being a good boss or employee, what are your rules for being able to be happy, what are your rules for feeling loved, what makes you happy, like what are the conditions that have to happen in order for you to feel X? And so these are all rules that we create around certain ideas or feelings even. Some people are like, what are your rules around success? I talked to business people, and one person I talked to, well, it's $100,000 a month in recurring revenue. I talked to another business person, and it's $1 million. And the reason it's $1 million is because they've already hit the 100,000 a long time ago. And for them to feel successful, they put themselves in this box. There's a lot of other things that could be happening. But the point is, they put themselves in this box that makes it almost impossible for them to have the feeling of success. And once I talked to them after a while, I said, well, let's redefine that. What if we said success was, having a balanced life, not completely balanced, but having your 5 to thrive in order. And once we talked about that for a while, they actually invoked the feeling of happiness, fulfillment, and success there in that moment and moving forward. Now, they're still striving for those goals, but they're able to have the feeling of being success, the feeling of being loved, the feeling of being appreciated, without doing anything except for changing your rules for how to get that feeling. Now, of course, you have rules for going towards, but rules for going away from, right? What are your rules for being afraid or being jealous? These things, we go in a much deeper dive in this in the Author of Your Own Story University, but you get the idea. In this short clip, I just wanted to cover the basics of this. So here's what I'm asking you to do. Grab your journal, grab your 5 to thrive. So what are your rules for each of these 5 to thrive? What are your rules for your body, right? What are your rules for your body to be a perfect 10 for you? Now, for some of you, you want to look like a model. For others of you, you just want to be able to jog around the block. Whatever it is, those are your rules, right? So what are your rules to feel successful, to feel accomplished, and to feel like you're the author of your own story in each 5 of your 5 to thrive? Start there. Journal about it. I think you'll be surprised. What are your rules for feeling spiritual? Like, what has to happen in order for you to feel that feeling of spirituality going through your body, through your heart, and through your soul? So take your time and do this. This is not an exercise you want to just breathe through and then move on to the next thing. Spend some time thinking of this. Now, once you have your rules, look at those and see if those work for you. Now, if they don't work for you, rewrite them. You can do that. You can rewrite your rules at any time. You can change things up whenever you want to. And that's the power of being the author of your own story. You're really the author. You're rewriting the script of your own life. And so you want to make it as easy as possible for you to experience success, love, happiness, all these good feelings. And then you can rewrite your rules another way and make it really difficult for you to feel angry, tired, depressed. And that really helps you move along the path of life. Again, this is a much, much deeper topic, but hopefully this gives you just a glimpse at the power that this actual exercise contains. So I'd love to hear from you and hear your results. And if you have any questions, of course, go over to the Author of Your Own Story community, and we'd be happy to help you out there too. That's it for me today. Remember, go out and be the author of your own story.
I have a question for you. What if you could transform your life for the better in just 90 days? Would you do it? Our 90-Day Game is an online program and community created for people like you who are ready to make a shift and take those dreams and goals they've been talking about for years and turn them into a reality within 90 days. Go to authorofyourownstory.com/90-day-game and turn your goals into reality. And don't forget to be the author of your own story.